At the centre of Scotland's largest city lies its beating heart. Glasgow Central Station is the transport hub that connects all our communities, with trains running from platforms both above and below ground. Up on the concourse, staff take on the daily challenge of keeping the whole nation moving, coping with delays.
Well, 1908's been cancelled. We're going to lose our special just at a time when we need it.
Crowds.
That's the queue halfway down Hope Street.
Come on, guys, hurry up!
And everything a busy station can throw at them.
This is the biggest tour I've ever done. Come on, gather round.
While in the tunnels beneath, an army of engineers are about to take on one of the biggest renovations this railway has ever seen.
The last time the Argyll Lines were closed, I wasn't even born.
This is going to be manic for 8 weeks, 24/7.
It is indeed the moment of truth. Sparks are going to fly.
As new faces join the central team, they must all work together.
If we could pull this off, it's got to be absolutely brilliant.
To keep the trains on track and ensure that everyone reaches their destination safely. Eight weeks ago, Central Station Low Level closed its doors to the public for vital renovations and repairs on the Argyll Line tunnels. Over that time, the station has faced a number of challenges. From dealing with increased footfall on the concourse,
Platform 4, you said? Yes, thank you.
Shortly.
to running alternative services for big occasions.
Hearts coming in platform 9 and 10 and Hibs coming in 7 and 8. So obviously we've made a wall in between them as they're walking down. There's no need for the swearing, is there?
It's a special service and it'll be on platform 6 right there.
Finally, with the works deadline only a few days away, it's all hands on deck to get ready for the reopening, and ScotRail station manager Kat is determined to get everything done on time.
There's a huge amount of work to get done just in these next few days. It's amazing the amount of things that you plan for the blockade starting, but you actually need to do that in reverse. So Sunday's going to be crucial because there's such a small window from when we get the site handed back. It's massively important that we get everything right.
To properly plan for the reopening, Central Station's managers Kat and Drew have travelled to the work site to assess what needs to be done in the days ahead.
I didn't know where this work site was.
If we're here, I'd have been lost trying to get to it. I wouldn't have known it was there. But I'm presuming the site office is just up here.
Leading them into the tunnels to show off the work is construction manager Rod.
Our guys are in all over the tunnels, and works delivery are in doing slab track work, re-railing, etc.
Despite dealing with the closure for weeks on end, this is the first time Kat and Drew will be going into the tunnels to see the work firsthand.
Try and keep together, don't be just wandering around. It's not just standing on a platform giving out tickets like you mob normally do. This is the real bit. He doesn't even give out tickets. He's out his office.
He counts pigeons.
Rod will be taking the station managers from the main work site at Exhibition Centre directly through the Argyll tunnels, stopping for inspections at the various stations along the route. And the first stop along the tunnel is Anderston.
What we're doing is taking away the concrete so we can see the brickwork. It's part of the hidden critical elements of a structure, so we now expose as much as we can so that we can keep an eye on it.
After seeing the progress at Anderston, it's time to head further up the tunnels towards Glasgow Central Low Level.
It was great to see that, the way they've scaled it back to the original glazed brick as well. It's lovely just seeing the heritage. They were built, railways were built to last, and hopefully they do. But when you see the structures that's been hidden, it's really nice to see that, and hopefully we keep it.
To actually walk the tunnel, to look at the infrastructure and what they're doing is brilliant. It's interesting.
But as they reach Glasgow Central, there's something on Kat's mind.
When you see that, the amount of cleaning that's probably going to get needed, it's going to be 1 or 2 cleans, if maybe not more. The trackside panels, columns, and then my worry is that when the services start back again, because of the dust and the concrete that's been taken away, when a train comes through, is it just going to blow up all the dust again, so it's just going to be...
It'll take a good few good nights, heavy clean.
Heavy clean. So it's just to make sure that that's planned in.
Dirt and dust could compromise passenger comfort, but more seriously, it could affect the safe running of trains along the track. If the stations aren't ready, the line can't reopen. Kat takes her worries about cleaning the stations to rod.
Is that programme of works in place and all been confirmed? Do we know that that's happening?
We are aware that we have to come the opening, it has to be exactly how we found it.
Have you got a target date of when you think, right, this is us finished and now it's about prepping for opening?
Most of the heavy, dirty stuff is over now, so we're painting, so it's the clean side of the business. So there's nothing to stop your cleaners coming in, a week in advance of us giving back the blockade.
A plan to bring the cleaners in early may keep the reopening on schedule.
Seeing like the amount of stour and dust that's in the tunnels, it's helped us plan for not just a clean before we open, but maybe an ongoing programme, because as the first trains pass through, then it might make the stations dusty again. So even just things like that and being able to have that awareness, it's been invaluable today.
But Rod's team aren't the only ones who have been hard at work underground. 3 weeks ago, the plans to renovate the Victorian platform were given the go-ahead, and work has been ongoing to transform it into a living history space. Central's historian Paul has been inviting journalists down to the platform to share plans for the space ahead of the opening. Today, he's come down with history journalist Norrie Wilson to showcase the space's potential and share the vision.
What are your plans for down here? It's already like a remarkably atmospheric space, but I believe you want to do more.
The work that's been carried out has been truly remarkable. The guys have done a fantastic job. They're going to lay ballast, and then for the first time since 1968, we'll lay a railway track there. Eventually, in the coming months, we'll have the steam engine sitting there with the railway carriage behind it.
I look forward to seeing that, I really do.
But it's the platform's past which particularly interests history enthusiast Norrie.
If you can imagine this area, Norrie, in Victorian times in particular, how dark it must have been down here. Admittedly, there was gas lamps down here, but imagine a steam engine coming to a stand here. Bad ventilation in this area anyway, then the visibility was absolutely zero, which in turn allowed the Glasgow villains at the time to run out from behind the cast iron columns with their knives, open razors, and make good their escape from there.
Women were especially vulnerable to attack on the dark underground platform.
Even today, electrically lit, it's still a slightly nervous-making place.
The Transport Police have records from 1906 in particular of how dangerous it was down here for women travelling on their own. If we cast our mind back to Victorian times, women in those days were wearing, the fashion was big flowing dresses, and if somebody cut your bag off your shoulder, you're not going to give chase.
You're not even going to notice that's happening.
Quite a lot of crimes were freely committed, and that's one of the main reasons that women wanted to be safe and secure, hence the Victorian waiting room round the corner there.
By the early 1900s, society was beginning to change and women started leaving the home more often to travel to work or to socialise.
Paul, you think this is the old ladies' waiting room for the low level?
There was many women's organisations within the city at the time. You know, around about the time of the early suffragettes, they approached the Caledonian Railway Company and they said, we fear for women's safety. So they come up with an idea to say this area here could be used as a waiting room or a shelter for women specifically.
So they had the safe space?
This was the first down here, the first safe space, you're right.
And I suppose to a certain extent as well, the directors of the Cali, they didn't want to lose women's business.
When you think the amount of women that would naturally be travelling on trains at any given time, of course.
Morning and evening, you'd have working women going to their jobs, and through the day, you'd have middle-class women coming into the city to do their shopping or whatever.
By the late 19th century, over 25 million passengers used Central's high and low-level stations each year.
The platforms in some of the stations were actually marked. It would be stencilled or painted onto the platform, ladies' platform area. And that was replicated through many or the bigger railway stations in Britain. Women-only carriages, which made women feel more confident.
It's the original version of the Me Too movement. It's women standing up for each other. The incredible thing is, this was happening 100 years ago.
And the commitment to keeping passengers safe continues to this day.
We have a scheme, and it's been running with Network Rail for a wee while now, that if women have to flee domestic abuse, they come into a major station like Central, we'll arrange for free tickets, free train travel to get them away from wherever it is. And you know, I think that is a wonderful scheme that I've told to many women on the tours. Everybody should be safe. And if we can do anything to assist people, that's the main thing for me.
But this isn't the only time Central Station has been at the centre of great leaps forward for people's safety. Norrie has been researching a case with public prosecutor Alan Nicholl, which changed our legal system forever.
Samuel Murov was a Russian immigrant who came to Glasgow sometime before 1909.
Where was his shop in relation to Central Station?
His shop was at 186 Argyll Street.
Is that the one above the Grant Arms?
It's beside the Grant Arms, exactly, yes.
What did he actually do to find his name framed in Scottish legal history and precedent?
What he did was he had a habit of attacking the female employees when there was nobody around, or sometimes even when they were around.
Yeah, he was looking for victims.
He was looking for victims, for people who were desperate to carry on working. Many of these women had suffered in silence for many years.
So I know the woman that originally brought the first sort of case against him was a Mary Watt.
Yes, she went to the trade union official for the shop assistants union. That led directly to the police becoming involved. Yes, and that's when it all unravelled as far as he was concerned.
The witness list shows a 26 folk testified.
The women looked out for each other as well. He went to trial in 1930. There were 21 charges. They were mostly indecency of some kind.
At that time, standard legal practice meant that similar evidence of one witness could not lend weight to the evidence of another, no matter the volume of witness testimony. But during Murov's case, this precedent was changed and still plays a role in protecting people across Scotland today.
It was held that the testimony of one witness to similar circumstances and facts could corroborate another witness's evidence.
I mean, I realise this is going back to 1930, but the Murov doctrine is still an accepted and a well-used part of Scots law.
Yes, Murov's used on a daily basis somewhere in the criminal courts. You can Murov, that's commonly the term.
It's turned into a verb.
It's turned, it really has.
How have you used it in your own career?
I was in Crown Office and I dealt with many indecency cases and argued Murov just to every single one of them. As you say, it's become a sort of verb.
Central Station has always celebrated history and milestones whenever they arrive. And there's one particular event that Drew has been looking forward to for a long time.
Today we're celebrating the Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee.
It's the only Jubilee we'll ever see.
Is it?
Yeah, of course it is. You would need to have another monarch for 70 years. How long do you think?
Is that 70 years?
Yeah.
All right.
You're not going to live till then. Like, no chance. Oh, Jack, no way, not in this job. No, we're doomed. There's no way we're here. We're going to live to that age.
And it's not something that Drew is about to let go unmarked.
Drew's a massive fan of the Queen,
However much a fan that you think he is, like double or triple it, so to speak. He's got all the regalia, so yeah. You should go up and have a wee look at his mug collection in there.
We are a community station, so we welcome everybody, but at special occasions like this, we couldn't go without celebrating it. We've set up a Platinum Jubilee tea garden on the centre of the concourse with the help and partnership of local Grand Central Hotel. So we have invited 20 veterans just to say thank you.
We've got the Queen's Jubilee War Veterans Afternoon Tea for 20 guests in the middle of the concourse. The afternoon teas will come from the kitchen, so we'll just be neatly aligned, a couple of chefs there, 2 afternoon tea stands.
We've got services at 12 o'clock, so it's going to be like a big day.
The station staff are keen to give the veterans a gathering to remember down to the very last detail. But with only 1 hour to go until they arrive, the concourse is proving to be a hazardous location for fine dining.
You know how there's pigeons that fly by the train station?
Thanks to a couple of Drew's old friends.
One of them is make the mess. I spent time on that table.
As the team move quickly to replace the dining settings, others are practicing speeches for the afternoon ahead.
I've not got the greatest memory, so from top of the head I'm not very good, but I've got the clipboard with the speech ready. Also Jackie Ogilvie, our station tour guide, will also be giving the veterans the history of the station, this splendid station we have. I think Jackie's got 20 minutes, but sure if we said to Jackie, listen, you've got 2 hours, I'm sure she could fit it in.
With the food trays prepped and ready to go, the dining area has been refreshed and prepared to the highest standard.
No more birthday.
Just in time for the first veterans' arrival.
I love the Queen, you know what I mean? So I used to be in the army and things like that, so up and down the country, it's like unifying the whole country. There's happening in Wales, everywhere, so I quite enjoy that.
I think she's amazing, like, absolutely amazing. She's done, you think of all the work she's done, all the charity work she's done, and she keeps doing it. She never gets to retire. Like, no, I think she's amazing. She deserves everything, definitely.
Jackie, is she on site yet?
No, she's coming in.
Having finished the preparations for her speech, Jackie arrives in time to help give the veterans a royal welcome.
Hi, come on, you come with me. We'll get you a wee seat, my darling. Where do you want to sit? Do you want to sit opposite the ladies? Backside. Your backside? That's as good a place as any.
But she's still dealing with a bit of stage fright.
You've no idea how chuffed I am to be asked to do this, but I'm really, really nervous. I'm really worried I'll get a wee bit emotional as well. When I read the stories about the history and all the rest of it, these are the people that made that history. Aye, I'll leave it at that. You got a photo? Where's your photo? Share your photo. Come on, don't keep that to yourself. Oh, she's picking out the good ones. She's not letting it. Oh my goodness me.
90.
Oh my God. No wonder you got all the lumbers.
What were you in? The ATS? 96 Heavy Attack Regiment, Royal Artillery, Waller Barracks, London Road, Devizes, Wiltshire.
I joined when I was 17 and I washed the dishes for them. And the captain said, come in here. He said, you're just what we're looking for. And I never looked back.
Yeah, I
became a petty officer, believe it or not, and I was only 20.
Good on you.
Right through the war, 41 to 46.
Brilliant.
And I don't look it, you know. Nobody tell him what age I am.
No, I don't tell him.
And where did you come home to? Central Station?
That's right. It was dark. I don't remember it as light as this. But she said that was because they blacked out the
roof.
glasses up on the roof. That's just great memories. And all remember the Shell, you know, we used to meet the boyfriends at the Shell.
Shell, there you go. We're still going to Shell there, eh? And you can come back in and meet your other boyfriends.
I'll take you home with me.
I would love to sit with every one of them and hear their stories and hear what's going on. Oh, that would be brilliant. It would just be brilliant.
With the food served, it's finally time for our speakers to conquer their nerves and take the stage.
To our invited veterans, I, as Drew Burns, station manager, welcome you all. We stand in the midst of, in my opinion, heroes. We are here today to thank our heroes, to remember their achievements, their courage and their dedication. I'll pass you on to Jackie, Glasgow Central tour guide and a historian. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As True says, a very, very warm welcome to Glasgow Central Station Tours. If I don't get too emotional doing this. She was built by the Caledonian Railway Company. She was built on the site of a small village called Grahamston. Ladies and gentlemen, Central Station means so much to so many people. Every Glaswegian's got at least one story to tell about Central Station. It might be something as simple as walking through here on the way to your first job interview. Or maybe your story is that you met your love of your life under the clock or just by the Shell. Central Station is where we say goodbye to our loved ones when they leave us to head south. But never ever forget, this is where we say hello when they come back to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your service. Thank you.
While the veterans at Central reflect on their past careers, others are just starting theirs. Apprentices Nicole and Naomi are joining an army of engineers who are on the move while the city sleeps. Led by electrical engineers Alan and Craig. Every weekend, they descend on the railway with their teams to maintain the overhead lines that keep the railway running. And tonight, they're working in a very specialised location.
We've got overhead line maintenance to complete in Polmadie depot to ensure that all the wires are within the correct diameter, make sure that there's not going to be any issues in the future. Cyclic maintenance is what it is. It's just a typical Saturday night in the railway.
Whose machine are you going in?
Second one, eh?
Second one, eh?
Well, we're doing it. 2 machines are doing wire run maintenance. We've had to do a lot of it for like our modules throughout the apprenticeship as well to like get our work passed.
Both have undertaken their fair share of overhead maintenance throughout their apprenticeship, but neither have taken on the challenge of a train depot shed before.
It's good to do something different.
It makes the night go in a lot faster when you're up doing the work, so
yeah.
You out for a long in the night? I don't think we're on for that long, are we?
Nah, I don't think so. By the time you get on, get through the points and everything sorted, I think it'll be a couple of hours.
That means you'll have to work double as hard.
Always, really.
it should be straightforward tonight as maintenance work, so we can't really see anything going wrong. So it should be stress-free.
But despite expectations, you can never be sure what the railway might throw at you.
Here's Nicole going to come up with you. Nicole, do you want to go up and give Elvis and Sean a hand in the basket?
I'm coming up with yous.
What are they up to? Cleaning that into it?
Just clip it, they're going to clip it into the basket. As a former apprentice, I know what it's like to try to get in and want to spend as much time in the basket as well, and we've got a lot of trust in the girls now.
Nicole and Naomi haven't yet worked in the depot sheds, which is a slightly different skill set to maintenance on an open line. And we're not expecting any major surprises. We'll see how we get on.
One job Nicole is used to is cleaning the insulators on the overhead lines. But as the cherry pickers move into the shed, new challenges are immediately apparent.
They're disgusting, aren't they?
I know, yeah. I've never seen one dirty.
I've never seen an insulator this dirty.
See, because there's no rain in here, it doesn't get the chance to wash them off, and that's also why we need to spend more time cleaning them, because they are self-cleaning insulators, but only when they get hit with rain.
Well, hopefully that stops some of the trips coming in to the depots.
That looks brilliant.
But as they move through the depot, the team find an unexpected issue with the overhead wires.
The way the bracket's connecting to the contact wire, it's twisting ever so slightly. And that obviously causes the trains issues when they're going about the network.
As the pressure mounts to find the twisting point in the overhead wire, Craig consults the others about the time.
Once that machine's out, I'll call the boy and you can get the other one out too. But what time are we on now, Greg? On now? Because we've only got permission to be on to 6:45, so it'll take a while to get back out through all these points and everything.
However, Nicole's team are able to quickly spot the source of the twisted wire, and they must now act fast.
See if Elvis holds against you, if you twist towards me and Elvis holds against you, don't do that either. Get him just to hold it and then you pull it, right? That looks straight at that, is it? That looks all right.
Did they fix that?
That's it, fixed now.
Luckily, the experience Nicole has gained over her apprenticeship has paid off, and despite the challenges, the work in the shed is completed on time.
How is it possible that I never touched the grease and it's all over me? That's your fault. It's in my hair and everything.
I greased all night. I've not got a drop of grease.
That's a sign that you was working.
In your hair, in your face, in your trousers.
Everywhere, my clean trousers.
That wasn't too daunting tonight, to be honest, what we found. We found a lot worse than that when we've all been on the track, and on nights when we've had a lot less time as well. So, not usually beaten. We're usually managed to overcome any obstacles we find through hard work and determination.
As they approach the end of their apprenticeships, both Nicole and Naomi are looking forward to the future.
So how long have you got left in your apprenticeship? Just about finished, isn't it?
Just about finished, yeah. Next month or two, hopefully.
Is it?
Yeah.
Aye, next month or two. And then you'll be a fully fledged
technician.
Overhead line technician?
Yeah.
Aye, very good.
Back at Central, things are not going well for Jackie. Her newly cleared Victorian platform has started to flood.
Just heading down to see Stevie. He was down at the Victorian platform yesterday and having a wee look at the water ingress, which is, well, it seems to have multiplied. And I know it's been raining and that's part of the problem, but it really is quite a lot more water lying than there was before, so we're really wanting to see what you've discovered. Oh, there's noises. It's Stevie and his crew. Oh, there's the brilliant Sean.
The team have begun excavating the area to try and find the source of the flooding.
Yesterday, it was covering a much bigger area than it ever did before. So clearly, the guys been down here using the diggers. They've disturbed stuff. What they've disturbed, I'm not sure, but they've disturbed the piping and clearly the water flowing, and it's made it quite a bit worse, but can't believe the guys are on it already.
If they can't fix the flood, the renovation will need to be abandoned. But maintenance team member Sean thinks he's identified the issue.
The pipe should be sitting away up to the high point, and your catchment down below should be just sitting maybe 100 or 150 mil off the bottom of the chamber, which hasn't happened. The catchment's the opposite, so the flow coming in is at the bottom, and the outlet here is away up high.
The water outlet is sitting above the drainage pipe, so the water can't drain away.
I finished for some holidays on Thursday, so I need to really kind of come up with a plan before I finish up on Thursday. And then I'll just go away on holiday and leave them to fix it. Sounds like a good plan.
While the maintenance team work to avert disaster in the Victorian platform, engineering teams are working around the clock across the Argyll Line to get the final works finished for the reopening. The Clyde Viaduct carries the Argyll Line across the water and into Central Station. Today, a team of engineers are putting the finishing touches to track which has just been laid. Jordan is project manager.
The track goes back in as sections, and it is all just piecemealed together and welded together, and it's very difficult to relay in a perfectly straight line. The track is snaking, as you would call it. It's not fit for a train to run on at the moment.
The team's job is to level and line up the new track.
Once we're finished with that, the track will be nice and straight and in the perfect geometry for a train to run on.
The track sits on a bed of hard stones called ballast, which provides water drainage and support for the weight on the track. Several tons of ballast have been brought to the site today.
All the sides of the sleepers need to be fully covered in ballast. When the trains run over it, there's a lot of vibrations when they pass over the track. So that's the key purpose of the ballast, to hold it all into place.
A machine known as a tamping machine will be used to lift the track and pack the ballast underneath.
We're in the tamping cab. We're just about to start tamping the track in the down line. The tines are getting into the ballast just now to consolidate. We're lifting and lining the track as we go.
Packing the track will ensure it sits parallel and level.
The track geometry needs to be almost perfect for any trains to run on it. For any slight deviation from that, a train can actually derail, obviously causing a major incident on the railway.
After each pass with the machine, technician Ben has to precisely measure the height of the track.
850, yeah?
4 left, 4 right.
But there's a problem with the figures.
Right.
6 left.
Yeah.
20 right.
If the measurements are off, the consequences could be devastating.
Any slight level changes or twists in the track, that's what causes a train to derail, because one wheel can come off and then it's just a chain reaction from then on.
It's miles different.
There's a dangerous inconsistency in one section of the railway, so Ben calls for the tamping machine to level out the track and bring it all back into the proper alignment. And then the measurements have to be checked again.
Just check it into right up to here.
You can see Ben here just doing his final checks. He likes to get down the top of the rail and have a final look right along with his own eye just to make sure it does look like it's in a straight line and there's no dips in it.
That's absolutely sweet.
Having completed the work on the downline track running in one direction, the team must now do the same for the upline track running in the opposite direction before the end of their shift. But there's a problem here too. One section of track is sitting too far out.
11, 23.
Ben uses the tamping machine to try and nudge it back into alignment.
To me. Spot on.
With only 40 minutes of the shift to spare, the team have managed to get the track back into alignment.
That's the tamping now fully complete, except for the passenger trains now. It is actually starting to look a bit more like a railway than it did this morning.
With the new rails now ready for the trains, the Argyll Line project looks on track for the reopening. And passengers back at Central are ready to get their low-level station back. Even pub golfers who are making their way through Central on their way to their first hole.
What's your red signature moved in? What happened? Oh, and then you start that. I think I was one that caught the dress code. I probably wear this outfit myself. And you're good to be fair. It's not even that big a deal. A lot of stairs, but... Stairs? Look, not actual stairs. Oh my God.
But the final work on the low-level project isn't quite over the line yet. Project manager Tom has been overseeing some of the vital track renewals in the Stob Cross Tunnel, just west of Glasgow Central. And today he's making one of his final visits to the site before signing off the work.
The blockade's coming to an end now, so it's kind of a big day. We're handing back, we're doing our final walkthroughs, we're checking everything with the team. So it is kind of, we're handing over the keys to the maintenance team now. It's going to be their asset going forward, and then that'll be us done.
But before the work can be declared complete, the renewed sites must undergo rigorous final testing.
They're going to check all our work, make sure it's all accurate, make sure everything's lined and level and is correct.
Any issues at this stage could delay the reopening in just a few days' time.
We've thrown the points to the other side and they're going to make sure that the switches are in the right place, all the measurements are correct. It's all new rail, so it should all be good, but they're going to test it anyway. It is the moment of truth, yeah. Fingers crossed. There will be no issues. How's it looking? It's fine. I knew it would be.
And to really test the new section of track, a rail load vehicle approaches.
So we'll actually see it coming over?
It's already being tested, look at that. That's the points in action with the machine going over the top of them, so that's good a test as a train.
You're quite happy, Tom, with how it's all looking?
Yeah, no, I'm happy. It's all looking good. It's clean and tidy. It's lined and levelled. It's all sorted.
The overall work on the line has been finally signed off, marking the end of a huge undertaking by the entire team over the past 8 weeks.
It's been a really busy 8 weeks for everybody, and our team, we've been working 24/7, round the clock during this blockade. The work that we've done through the centre of Glasgow is going to provide that reliable train service for our passengers going forward.
The engineering works may be going to plan, but there are only 3 days before the low level reopens.
Hi Andy, how you doing?
And Kat is concerned the station won't be ready in time.
We're having issues. I'm just going down onto the platforms. Rod came along with me. They're now to have a look at it because of the store, the guys are sweeping the tracks. So Strathclyde Cleaning can't even get down to do the platforms because it's just settling again, which has put us a day back.
So she's pulled Rod aside for a word.
We're losing the time frames, getting smaller and smaller, and nothing's actually been started here.
Kat had expected the platforms to be clean by now.
Obviously, I need the dust from here to go to that side of the tunnel, just so that I can bring SCS in to get a clean that ScotRail's happy with.
But dirt and grime from the tracks is settling on the platforms, making it impossible to keep them clean.
We've got leaf blowers to try and blow that residual stuff into a position we can get it. And under the railhead, or the bottom of the rail rather, we need to get that away from there. Stones and underneath, so we don't have a track circuit drop out.
Right.
That's the big thing.
And do you think the tracks will be finished by tomorrow so that SCS can come in to the...
We'll be finished today. We've got a day shift and a night shift, so all that will be moved and we'll be clear of here.
But Rod has an idea that might help put Kat's mind at ease.
There's already been a day of cleaning done at Argyll Street, and obviously this morning they've started on it as well. So let me see when the tracks have been cleaned there, which they have done, how the station's looking, so give me an idea of one day's cleaning, what it's going to look like at Central.
The cleaners have made a head start on this station and have been making good progress.
You can see it's cleaner and
it's
crisper.
Aye,
yep.
Definitely.
But it's a big ask. It's grubby, but you can see they're into it now.
It was a good idea coming along, because when you just see Central and you go, it's only got a few days, but seeing that they've only had 1 day here.
One and a half.
Yep. And it's much cleaner.
And Rod knows Kat has high standards.
You haven't been vague as to what your expectations were. And that's it. No, but you'd rather know the rules. No, that's what we're here for.
I like the engagement, that's it.
The cleaning teams will be working around the clock to get the stations up to scratch before the reopening. It's been 2 days since Jackie called on the maintenance team to stop the flooding in the Victorian platform. While she's away on holiday, she's asked Drew to keep an eye on things.
So this is a pipe, does that need replaced?
Yep.
So see the work he's doing now, how long's that going to take?
Sean is hoping to have that drain connected up there by the end of the week.
By this time next week I could come down and so this is all going to be cleared, fixed, and then it's all going to be levelled off.
I'm not in a position to make promises, but if you speak to Sean, you know Sean, he's always eager to please.
Sean's in his glory, this is his type of work. It's away from electricity and woodwork, and this is his glory. This is what he loves today.
Sean worked as a ground worker on roads for many years before joining the Central Station maintenance team.
I am enjoying it, aye. It's sort of industry I came from my background, and then coming into the artisan team, so it's good to sort of bring something different to the team as well. So aye, it's good to get back into it and get your hands a bit dirty. See what I mean? The task at hand, it's meant to be quite a straightforward task. But as I say, because of the age of the area, you don't know what's underneath you.
The unpredictable nature of a railway site this old has made the drainage more complicated than they expected, with a real possibility of putting a complete halt to Jackie's plans. But never one to be beaten, Sean has come up with a plan.
So you need rapid catchment to take this a bit faster and put a natural, well, put a soakaway in here with the aqua cells and run a pipe for where the machine is, all the way down. Bring it across here and T-piece into the cells, and then hopefully that'll drain everything away and take all the surface water away as well, eventually.
The team will excavate the area, install an underground soakaway drain and reroute the drainage pipes.
That pump's been running since 7:30 this morning, taking away all that water that's sitting, so it just shows you the volume of water that could potentially build up here now.
With Jackie back from her holidays in just a few days' time and the water still flowing, the team have a lot of work to do.
It's just a slow progress. It's, as I say, you can only plan as far ahead as you can. Fairly confident, definitely fairly confident. Put it this way, I wouldn't have excavated if I didn't.
As the Argyll Line works draw to a close, one of the most ambitious projects of the 8-week closure is also approaching the finish line. Anderston Station, just one stop along from Glasgow Central, has undergone a complete renovation, under the watchful eye of foreman Jimmy.
Over 9 weeks, we have refurbed the complete low level, digged all the tiles up, really new tiles. It's all new trunking went in, all new electrical stuff went in, new lighting, and also introduced a new lift shaft.
It's been a huge undertaking for the team, who have pulled out all the stops to make the deadline.
On the 1st of March I come in here, the place was just flooded. It was quite heavy rain that day and I was like, oh my God. You've got to think on your feet every day here, every hour, every minute. At the moment this is standing at the concourse area, ready for the ticket area. This is all new as well, this is all the new wall tiles that were up here. We'll start walking down to the lower level platform. This is one of the main distribution boards here for the main power feed coming in. So they'll power all the lights, the lifts. The lift's still getting constructed at the moment. At the start there was about 160 tonne of material dug out of here and then taken off site. Then all that concrete we pumped back into the place. All the steel work is up inside here to bring the lift shaft to where it is.
As well as complex modern additions like a new lift shaft, Jimmy's team have also been busy preserving the station's fascinating history.
A lot of the stuff here you can see when we stripped the back of the roof and that, you can see the original makings of it. Every one of these columns in this station, low level, is the original columns. Just been buffed down, prepped up and then brought back to their original kind of spec. It brings feature to the station, it brightens it up as well, especially at low level. Good achievement for us and the team.
But even with the main works to complete, there's still more to be done over a long-term project to renew the roof.
So this, on Monday morning, gets handed back to the public. We then will go into possession works, which means once passengers are away and there's no train movement, we'll come back in at night time for maybe 3 or 4 hours and put up towers and construct the roof.
With the people of Glasgow about to be welcomed back into their station, Jimmy feels positive about its future.
It feels totally different now. From when I first started here in March, like I say, there's been a lot of hard work put in with the team to achieve to where we've got. So aye, it feels good to be part of it.
This new station isn't the first major change the Anderston neighbourhood has seen over its time, with a rich history stretching back hundreds of years. Local historian Peter Mortimer has been documenting the story of the neighbourhood to preserve it for future generations.
To most Glaswegians, Anderston is probably the train station, or it's the motorway behind me, or it's going to see a show at the SEC. But Anderston was actually one of the early industrial areas of the emerging Glasgow, and many different types of industries were to be set up here in Anderston.
Anderston's industry was to make it an important district in the development of the old city of Glasgow.
There was all sorts of things happening in Anderston. It made lots of products, lots of goods, lots of services. Very, very important to the economy of Glasgow. Lots of stuff in Glasgow came in on the river, and lots of stuff in Glasgow went out on the river. So Anderston was perfectly placed to be at the forefront of Glasgow's industrial expansion.
In the early 1900s, the district was packed with shops, banks, tenement dwellings and industrial buildings.
There's none of the big industries left that were here, none of the big heavy metal factories that were making all sorts of stuff. Straight ahead, we've got what had been the sheds on the quay side of the River Clyde. And that's now, of course, converted into flats. It's very difficult to try and reconcile it with the way it once looked, because it's like many areas in Glasgow that were affected by redevelopment. Anderston, it's hard to really know where you are sometimes when you're walking around.
In the 1960s, the increase of traffic in Glasgow meant huge change came to Anderston.
The road network in the old city could not have coped with the modern day, so some things had to change. And one of the things, of course, that we know was we had to start bringing a motorway through Glasgow, and that had an enormous impact on Anderston. It really did make a huge difference in the landscape of Glasgow, and it's changed it forever.
Work on the M8 motorway commenced in the early 60s and cut right through Glasgow from north to south.
It had a big effect here in Anderston. The city at one time in the 1930s had over 1 million people living in it. We now have 600,000.
Carrying the M8 across the River Clyde is the Kingston Bridge.
The approach roads to the Kingston Bridge cut a path right through the centre of Anderston, and this ripped out most of the industrial heart of Anderston.
To help demonstrate the sheer scale of this colossal structure, Peter has put on his safety gear in order to climb inside and take a look.
So here we are below the road deck on the inside of the bridge. And just behind me, you can see the bridge going over onto the south bank. So this is the arch of the bridge that spans the River Clyde.
Opened by the Queen Mother in June 1970, the Kingston Bridge has 2 5-lane decks and is used by 150,000 vehicles a day.
Everything that goes through Glasgow goes over the Kingston Bridge at some point, it would appear. So the Kingston Bridge has become identifiable with the district of Anderston, just a bit like the Finnieston Crane and so on. So it's there now, it's part of it, and what's gone before had a great history, but guess what? This has got a great history also.
And with the new Anderston station about to reopen, the area is also starting to redevelop.
There's more housing going up. It's an area that's getting used by people enjoying going up into Argyll Street and Finnieston area and enjoying pubs and restaurants. So it has got a new identity. It's not the same Anderston that we knew before, with the factories and the tenements and the cinemas and churches. It has become a different area, but that is true of virtually every other area in the city.
One stop along the route from Anderston, Glasgow Central Low Level is also getting ready to finally welcome back its passengers after a long wait.
It felt like a long time when we first put the planning in to say, a really busy line of route's going to be closed for 8 weeks. That's such a long time for passengers to be disrupted. But in terms of getting the job done, 8 weeks was tiny. How they managed to get it done in 8 weeks is brilliant, Kudos to everybody that was involved in it. They've done amazingly.
And Kat is going to see how the low-level station is looking now it's open once again.
It's good coming down to actually just see the station opened as a whole, but it's good just to see it the way it should flow, with passengers, and trains moving and everything going well.
With lots of passengers passing through on the first day, Kat can finally breathe a sigh of relief that her station is up to scratch for the returning public.
Even just here, this was thick. You could see the haze of dust, and it was just thick with grime on the floors, the wall panels. So the scale of work they've had to put in up until Sunday night. So we'll go down and have a wee look and see what the platforms are looking like now, but what a difference.
It's a return to form for one of the busiest lines in Scotland, carrying on average 40 million passengers a year.
It's back to full working capacity, yeah. It's great to see the train running again. People can get, where they want to go. Just brilliant to see Central back in full, high level and low level services running, and people getting that service again. It's great.
With the low-level line finally back open, the window to bring machinery in and out of the Victorian platform has closed, meaning that it's now time up for the heavy works in this stage of the renovation, whether they've been finished or not.
Oh, work is happening, I can hear it.
Now back from her holiday, Jackie is keen to check on the flood and find out if it's been fixed on time.
Wow. My goodness. It is so good to see it without the huge big puddle of water up there. What a difference. Look, this has all been tidied up. Thank you very much for all your help.
It's looking lovely.
Oh, it's great. Look at the work you've done, though.
I know. So what it's got to get finally done is get it all regraded off, tidied it all up, and then that's it.
That's all going to get done, ready for
the ballast going in here, eh?
the ballast and the sleepers and the track.
Yep.
And then the engine. I know it doesn't seem like a big step, this, but it's huge, because this is the foundations on what
I'm glad
everything
you think
else
that.
is going to...
You were glad you were away for a week on holiday, by the way, because you were living under the sun, I'll give you that.
I think it's great that the guys have done what they've done, because that now allows us to move forward. This is the right thing to do, but it wasn't easy, and I take my hat off to you, young man.
And it's been a good result for Sean too.
It's good to get back in the tools and do a bit of graft, but we've been off it a while. You feel it? Tell me, huh? The old gut's pounded up a few couple of pounds, man.
I can't wait to see even the track being down here. It's going to really change this place. Oh my goodness. Aye. A bit surreal at the minute, but step forward. It's going to be fantastic. My boy.
All right.
Much appreciated.
And with the platform dry once again, Jackie can dare to dream about the future.
The people are going to come in those doors, they'll come down those steps. The first thing they're going to be hit with is this huge, great big engine sitting, staring back at them. I'm going to tell you, I would want to come on that tour. I would want to come on this tour to get that experience of walking in for the first time and seeing that. And the fact that we keep that to the end of the tour, you know, it's the kind of build up to it, and then, whew. Aye. Definitely, I think it's going to be quite incredible.
And in order to realise those dreams, Paul and Jackie are leaving the station to go on a special mission.
Finally getting up to see the possibility of getting a steam engine, Jackie. I never thought this day would come, did you?
No, I still can't believe it's happening. Boness, here we come.
Here we go.
While their own funding won't stretch to buying a brand new steam train, there's a possibility that a railway heritage group might be persuaded to help.
Oh my God, uncharted territory.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
I still can't believe it's happening.
This changes everything forever.
Aye.
And it'll be there forever when you and me are no working here.
They're heading to the Museum of Scottish Railways in Bo'ness to look at a train which is available to lease.
Is this not amazing? Look.
It is.
Look, it's
That's
just
fantastic, aye. So is.
That is absolutely incredible.
Paul and Jackie are meeting with museum curator Doug.
How are we doing? Hi there, pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Come on.
But before they get to their steam train, Doug takes Paul and Jackie for a tour around the museum.
Look at this. Look at this. Lovely.
This is fantastic. It really is.
We've got a royal coach here. This is the only Scottish royal coach. It would have operated for royal journeys to Balmoral.
Do you know what I miss about trains? You can't put your head out the window.
No, yeah.
And I know it's health and safety, but I'm old enough to remember putting your head out the train.
You are old enough, aye.
The Museum of Scottish Railways opened in 1995 and is staffed entirely by volunteers.
I am in awe of this place, I have to say. I find it quite incredible. It's wonderful. I think these people that have done this, what a legacy to leave. It is absolutely, it's just marvellous.
They've had a good look around, but now it's time to get down to business.
The reason we're here is to have a wee look at a particular engine.
Yes.
Could we maybe go into that now? You ready?
Yes.
We discussed a locomotive called Kelton Fell.
Yes, aye.
This is Kelton Fell. Built in 1876 in Glasgow, the Nielsen Works.
Oh my goodness.
Kelton Fell comes from a railway in the north of England. I'm not sure whether it's Northumbria or Cumbria.
Right.
Kelton Fell is the name of the railway, and she's named after that railway.
Kelton Fell was used to pull wagons from 1876 right up until 1968.
I've spent my railway working life being used to the modern trains, and they're not this size.
No.
And this is so imposing and historic.
Humbled, I think we are. Man, imagine we get this. Imagine. It doesn't bear think about Paul.
Bringing a steam train to Central Station has been a dream of both Jackie and Paul for years.
I never thought we would get this far. To have this down the stairs in Central would just be wonderful. It really would. All these years and years of work and planning and the great work that Jackie's done as well. This would be the pinnacle. It definitely would. And then when we retire in a few years' time, it'd still be there. Just amazing.
With a steam train in their sights, Paul and Jackie's dreams could become reality.
I can see this happening.
You think so?
Oh, there was many years I thought it was going to happen, then let down again, things fell away. But this time, it's for real.
I think we're closer now than we've ever been.
The hard times are past for this now. The struggle's past. I can see the finishing line for this. We're on the home straight now, definitely.
Well, I think there's a lot of work to be done before it, but I think the obstacles that were in our way have diminished.
It's tangible now. We're nearly there. We will get there, definitely. The railway has been forever changing, right from the early days. I love working in an area that we stick to tradition with these things, but we've mixed that tradition with the new.
Made it!
Any functioning city is the product of hours of passion by many civil engineers for centuries. Everything we do to have a modern society is linked to engineering. Doing that work makes a difference to people's lives on a daily basis.
Every day you've got to adapt. I've been here 40 years in the railway, and every day I'm learning.
Just something about the Glasgow Central Station, it brings people in. It's just electric all the time.
That's the way to do it.
It doesn't matter where you work in the railway, people know you. You're part of the railway family.
It's been a pleasure.
We all feel that as well.
Right, guys, straight through the gate. Straight through.
Glasgow is friendly.
You all right?
And the people that work here, they have a great care for people. Anybody that does come in that needs that wee bit of support, they will be welcome. That's embedded and ingrained into the walls of Glasgow Central.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Anyway.